Welcome back to the Gentleman's Gazette. In today's video, we'll be exploring the world of undershirts, how they differ from conventional t-shirts, and whether or not you should wear one. If you're a longtime viewer of this channel, you'll probably be familiar with our original guide to undershirts. Well, in short, a lot has changed since we posted that video way back in 2015. And since this is still such an interesting topic of discussion among fans of classic menswear, we thought this would be a great opportunity to revisit the subject and bring things up to our current standards. Plus, we wanted a bit more continuity with Raphael's changing hairstyle. Similarly to the eternal boxers or briefs debate, undershirts are another divisive topic in the world of men's underwear, as whether or not you wear one is a highly personal choice. But what are the defining features of an undershirt? And is wearing one the best choice for you? To answer these questions then, let's get started today by determining what an undershirt is. You'd be forgiven for thinking that an undershirt is simply a conventional t-shirt worn under your dress shirt and jacket, or whatever other layers are present in your outfit, like a turtleneck sweater. But while the t-shirt and undershirt do resemble one another, the fact is that they are fundamentally different garments. Put simply, an undershirt is typically structured like a t-shirt, but it will have a different weight, fit, and length. Comparing them side by side, you can see the difference immediately. Some undershirts may also be cut without sleeves in a vest style. That is to say, a tank top vest, not a waistcoat vest. Let's now dive deeper into these defining characteristics, starting with undershirt fit and weight. Unlike conventional t-shirts, undershirts are typically cut to fit very close to the body, almost like a second skin. This is because you want the other layers of your outfit to fit you properly and attractively, and a loose-fitting undershirt would cause baggy wrinkling and upset the lines of your other outer garments. In addition, undershirts are typically of a lighter weight and a more breathable weave than conventional t-shirts to encourage airflow and keep you cool. When it comes to length, a standard t-shirt is typically cut to finish around your hips, whereas an undershirt is cut longer. Firstly, this allows for a good amount of overlap between the bottom of your undershirt and the top of your underwear for a clean line. This also prevents the undershirt from riding up and becoming untucked throughout the day because no one wants to hula hoop their undershirt back in when it's coming undone. And for the cleanest possible line, this extra length makes the underwear tuck that much more secure as well. Hey, don't knock it till you've tried it. When it comes to necklines, classic t-shirts are usually finished in a crew neck style, cut closely to the base of your collarbone. This type of neckline, though, is simply too high for an undershirt. It's guaranteed to either peek out from an open shirt collar, which is a style faux pas, or to create an unsightly, lumpy ring when you're wearing a shirt with a tie. To alleviate these issues then, proper undershirts are cut with a deep V-neck and feature thin, flat seams. Turning to sleeve length, t-shirt sleeves can be cut on the shorter side, whereas undershirt sleeves are sometimes a bit longer. One purpose of this is to protect your outer layers from underarm odors and sweat patches. After all, an undershirt with a longer sleeve will generally cover more of your armpit area. Another reason is for comfort, as a shorter sleeve has a greater chance to bunch up under your arm throughout the day, which is definitely an unpleasant feeling. By the way, if all of this talk about the differences between undershirts and their big brother t-shirts has inspired you further, Kyle has a video on styling a t-shirt in 6 great ways here. And at this point in the video, it's worth briefly mentioning sporting and performance undershirts. In the last couple of decades, many outfitters have come up with all different kinds of performance fabrics that are designed to draw or wick moisture away from your body and make you feel drier. If you're going for a hike, hitting the slopes, or visiting the gym, then these types of undergarments are totally fine. But they're generally ill-suited as a layer under a dress shirt. This is because they often come in bold colors and bright patterns with large logos that are especially visible under a dress shirt. And the Tony Stark look was so 2008. Now that we've discussed what determines a true undershirt, let's wind the clocks back a bit and discover how they came to be. It's likely you've seen the infamous jockey advertisements from the 1970s and 80s that, rather prominently displayed men's underwear. And the 21st century hasn't been shy about showcasing undergarments in a similar way. But for much of history, underwear was largely hidden from view. Hey, it's right there in the name. Initially, undergarments were designed to help prevent the outer layers of garments from touching the body. This was a good thing, as regular bathing didn't become commonplace until the 18th century. What's more, it took a lot of time and money to create garments before industrial machinery could aid in manufacturing. Fibers needed to be gathered, spun, and woven, which took time and skill to do well. The dyeing process was even trickier, and any embellishments like embroidery would have to be painstakingly achieved by hand. Naturally, this type of clothing was primarily worn by the rich who wanted to protect their expensive garments from getting soiled. But the working classes also wore undergarments as protection because they wanted to be protected from their clothes. People without the means to afford expensive garments would have had to resort to cheap, uncomfortable, scratchy clothing much of the time. And at a lower price point, dyeing was less reliable, meaning that dye could leach off onto the wearer's skin. With all of these factors then, prior to the Industrial Revolution, undergarments were essential for pretty much all classes of people. So, up until the end of the 19th century, you'd never see much of a shirt other than the collar and cuffs, which was once considered avant-garde, transitioning into decorative, before becoming quieter and more reserved. At this point in history, we can see the formation of what we would today know as a dress shirt, but this was still strictly underwear at the time to be worn under jackets and coats. This is why detachable collars and cuffs were invented, as they were the most visible parts of a shirt that needed to be laundered most frequently. Under this school of thought, then, most well-off men could wear their dress shirts without an additional undershirt, instead adding layers on top like an overcoat or a scarf to showcase their wealth. And after all, in those times, you couldn't exactly parade around your luxury undergarments without creating a spectacle. However, the working classes still needed an additional layer to protect their outer garments as well as keep them warm as they worked. This is where the all-in-one union suit rose to popularity as an upper and lower underwear garment. They were often made from knitted wool or flannel, as these materials bear a natural elasticity that kept the union suit form-fitting. The issue with these OG onesies, though, was their all-or-nothing nature. Essentially, you had to choose between being warm all over or going without entirely. So, much like the evolution of denim overalls into jeans, the union suit was cut in two at the waist, becoming long underwear or long johns on the bottom and an undershirt on the top. This split into two garments gave the wearer far more flexibility, and undershirts became more commonplace. At the beginning of the 20th century, soldiers would often wear undershirts to protect their uniforms from dirt, sweat, and body oils. In hot climates, of course, it was often more comfortable to wear just the undershirt, and this is where we see the t-shirt develop as a standalone outer garment. In the 1934 film It Happened One Night, star Clark Gable famously appeared on screen without an undershirt. Inspired by Gable, average men were said to have started wearing undershirts less. Sales in the US supposedly dropped by a staggering 75%. And while their popularity may have increased a bit again during the Second World War, undershirts never fully regained their status as a must-have garment for all men. Up to today, then, undershirts remain more of a personal choice garment. So, with that said, we've created 2 lists here. 5 reasons why you should wear an undershirt, and 5 reasons you might want to pass it up. So, we'll start with the 5 reasons in favor of undershirts, and the first of these is sweat control. If you sweat enough that it will show through your shirt and potentially even your jacket, then wearing an undershirt should help you. Many people claim that undershirts will wick away moisture, and while they won't necessarily act like a flurry of bullets against Superman's chest or make all of the moisture magically disappear, the reality is that an undershirt provides a barrier between your underarms and your dress shirt fabric, helping to prevent the transference of sweat and body oils onto your outer layers. As I've mentioned elsewhere, sweat under pretty much any circumstance is inevitable for me as a person with hyperhidrosis, so undershirts are a must-have in my wardrobe. Reason number 2 here is temperature control. An undershirt can add a layer of warmth to your outfit, which is great for colder climates and transitional seasons. Because a lot of modern-day clothing is constructed from lighter-weight fabrics, wearing an undershirt can be a good way to maintain a more consistent body temperature. After all, no one wants to be shivering in the office when somebody cranks up the air conditioning. Meanwhile, provided you're wearing an undershirt that's properly light and breathable, it might actually keep you cooler in warmer climates too. This might sound counterintuitive, but Professor Preston explains the science in this video. The third reason in favor of undershirts is added comfort. If you're not accustomed to the particular weave or cloth used in your dress shirt, or you just don't like the feel of it, then wearing an undershirt should increase your comfort. This way, your skin will be in direct contact with the softer fibers of the undershirt as opposed to the stiffer fibers of your outer layer. This is especially true for occasionally uncomfortable clothing like traditional stiff-fronted shirts for black tie and white tie events. Wearing an undershirt can help you to avoid chafed skin and is basically invisible under the stiffer bibbed shirt front. And trust us on this one, you only have to hear Raphael complaining about nipple chafing once before you're sold on the idea of an undershirt for formal wear. Item number 4 here is better style. Undershirts can also smarten up your look by preventing rogue chest hairs from being vaguely visible or even poking through the fabric of your outer layers. After all, even if you like the look of chest hair, no one wants to see it poking through your shirt like an infestation of weeds. Plus, well-cut undershirts aren't visible in the collar area, allowing you to ditch your tie and go from formal to casual looks with ease. Finally here, the number 5 reason to wear an undershirt is less wear and tear. Without an undershirt, your dress shirts are almost inevitably going to end up with deodorant or antiperspirant stains on them. And although you can remove these stains by using products like DeoGo or using some sage laundry advice, additional clothing care is more of a hassle than simply wearing an undershirt. This is especially true if you're a frequent wearer of garments like turtleneck sweaters, which can be laundered even less easily. Now, on the opposite side of the equation, let's cover 5 reasons why you might not want to wear an undershirt. The first of these is that they can be inelegant. As we already discussed, historically elegant men generally didn't wear an additional undergarment layer under their dress shirts. Many of the men we included on our list of the best-dressed men in the world prefer not to wear an undershirt, and it's hard to argue with their sartorial excellence. Of course, this all comes back to the personal preference element of undershirts, but as another example, you're never going to see James Bond fussing with an undershirt while, on a mission. Reason number 2 here is that they can be restrictive. Simply put, for some men, wearing 2 shirts at once can feel claustrophobic. We all probably think it'll be more similar to how superheroes wear their uniforms under their civilian clothing, but the reality for some is that it might be more akin to this level of discomfort. So, foregoing an undershirt might allow you to feel more comfortable and easy-breezy under your dress shirt. Number 3 on this list is that undershirts can be too hot. If your undershirt isn't properly breathable, then that extra layer of fabric against your skin is going to feel even more stifling in hot climates. And it may even promote perspiration, creating a vicious cycle where in an attempt to prevent sweating, you're actually causing it. On a related note, if your outer layers are particularly lightweight, an undershirt might show through, which is unsightly to say the least. There are workarounds for this, though, which we'll touch on in a moment. Our penultimate reason here is that there are other options for layering. If you want to add warmth to an outfit, there are many other stylish ways to do so aside from an undershirt. Heavier weight options like flannel shirts are a stylish alternative to adding an undershirt layer, for instance. Accessories such as hats, gloves, and scarves can be added if necessary, and who doesn't like the look of a classic overcoat? And when it's all said and done, there's no substitute for a quality piece of knitwear. Finally, reason number 5 against wearing undershirts is that you can just do laundry more regularly. What do we mean by this? Well, some argue that it's more hygienic overall to wear undershirts, and our response here is more hygienic than regular laundry and grooming? Assuming that you're bathing regularly and washing your dress shirts shortly after they're worn, then you really shouldn't have any issues with hygiene. After all, an undershirt isn't going to protect areas like the insides of your dress shirt collar and cuffs, so it's not advised that you wear the same dress shirt for days in a row anyway, regardless of whether you're wearing an undershirt or not. Now that we've considered all of the pros and cons, let's close today with a list of 6 expert tips so that if you choose to wear an undershirt, you'll be doing so with style. Number 1, wear an undershirt, not a t-shirt. As we discussed, an undershirt is not the same thing as a conventional t-shirt. Put simply, a t-shirt is too thick and too baggy to be worn comfortably under a dress shirt. Number 2, wear close-fitting undershirts. It's not often that you'll see us here at GG recommend a slim fit, but the reality is that undershirts need to fit closely. If not, there's a good chance that you're going to feel uncomfortable and more constricted in your movements. Number 3, don't wear sleeveless undershirts. However much history this style may have, frankly, it does leave a lot to be desired. You can usually see the outline of this style under your dress shirt more clearly, and if you take your jacket off, it becomes even more apparent that you're wearing one. Plus, if you're wearing an undershirt to absorb sweat, then this style doesn't work very well because your armpits aren't really covered. And for what it's worth, this style is still occasionally referred to as a wife beater, which is just a bad look all around. Number 4, wear deep-cut V-neck undershirts. You should always opt for deep-cut V-neck undershirts with thin, flat seams. The V-neck will allow you to choose whether you wear your dress shirt with a closed or open collar, and the flat seams will sit elegantly with minimal lines underneath. Number 5, make sure your undershirt's color works to your advantage. The majority of undershirts for men are sold in either pure black or pure white. And with the somewhat niche exception of a white undershirt worn under a formal black tie or white tie shirt, these shades just aren't great options for undershirts. Instead, your undershirt's color should match or harmonize with your own skin tone as closely as possible to avoid being visible. Colors such as heather gray are commercially available and a much better color match for men with fair complexions. Meanwhile, men with darker complexions might want to seek out undershirts in shades of brown. Finally today, to upgrade this tip, we come to tip number 6, which is that you can make your own skin-toned undershirts. To do this, you're going to need a white undershirt, ideally in pure cotton, that fits you well, and to brew some strong black tea. Put the shirt into the tea solution in a basin to avoid staining your sink, and let it soak for about 15 minutes at a minimum. After rinsing out the excess, the shirt should have a color value very similar to men with lighter skin. And for darker skin tones, you can simply repeat this process as many times as necessary. And of course, it goes without saying that you shouldn't bleach the shirt whenever you wash it. So, with everything we've discussed today then, where do you stand? Are you an undershirt advocate, or are you happy to go without? Let us know in the comments under this video. In today's video, I'm wearing a summery, breezy ensemble that does, of course, feature an undershirt. The undershirt is in light heather gray to harmonize with my fair complexion. It has a deep V-neck, a relatively thin and lightweight weave, and flat seams. Also, as I am a personal fan of the underwear tuck method, the longer length of the undershirt is a plus as well. Over the undershirt, my dress shirt is in plain pink, and it has French cuffs. Into them, I have inserted our platinum-plated sterling silver eagle claw cufflinks from Fort Belvedere, featuring red carnelian as the stone. This harmonizes well with the other reddish tones in my outfit, which include my mottled weave sport coat in a reddish-brown tone, as well as my dark oxblood penny loafers from Allen Edmonds. Meanwhile, my trousers are in plain charcoal gray, which is a natural pairing partner for pink, and the remainder of my accessories, with the exception of the coconut straw pork pie you're seeing in outdoor footage, are all from Fort Belvedere. These would include my shadow-striped socks in pink and gray, and my triple almond blossom boutonniere, also in pink tones. For my fragrance today, I've gone for 4 Rosso, or Quattro Rosso, from the Roberto Ugolini collection, because I felt that it had a light and summery character, which went well with my warm weather outfit. For all of the Fort Belvedere accessories I'm wearing in today's outfit, and for the fragrance, you can take a look at the Fort Belvedere shop here.